St. Luke chapter 21, verse 24.
Read.
And they shall fall by the edge of the sword.
Go ahead.
And shall be led away captive into all nations.
They shall fall by the edge of the sword and be led away captive into all nations. That's another sign Christ spoke of. That happened to us in 70 AD by the hands of the Roman Empire. Go ahead.
And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles.
And the Gentiles shall take our land. Read.
Until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
Until the Most High send Christ to take them down. Go back to Thessalonians for me.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3.
Go ahead.
Let no man deceive you.
So let no man deceive you. Don't let no man come with a doctrine that will get your eyes off of the truth. And we know that man would come through Christianity because the Bible, Christ says himself, many shall come in my name saying I am Christ and shall deceive many. So that man speaking is those that are set up in authority to teach the Bible. There's a false doctrine in this earth. Read.
Let no man deceive you.
Let no man deceive you.
By any means.
By any means. Read.
For that day shall not come.
The day is talking about the day of destruction, when Christ come to take down the Roman Empire. Read.
Except there come a falling away first.
First Israel had to fall. At this time when Paul was saying this, Israel was still within Jerusalem's borders. They were still within Israel. At least the southern kingdom. So Israel had to fall altogether. Read.
And that man of sin be revealed.
And then that man of sin would be revealed. Who that man of sin? We would have to point to the people who destroyed us. Who took us down and made us fall in 70 AD. Read.
The son of perdition.
The son of perdition, which is the son of sin. Perdition is sin. Proving to you that they would teach in their society it's okay to sin willfully. They would promote all types of unlawful activity and say it's okay because Jesus came. They would teach you that it's okay to be a homosexual. They would promote pedophilia within their society. They would be robbers, thieves, killers. Read.
Verse 4. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High Ahia, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High Ahia sitteth in the temple of the Most High Ahia, showing himself that he is the Most High Ahia.
Now, this is what Christians are using to say that they're going to be another temple built in Jerusalem, which is total madness. When they say it's sitting in the temple of the Most High, sitting in the minds of God's people. We are the temple of the Most High. Let's prove that. Hold up and get 1 Corinthians 3 and 16.
1 Corinthians.
Make sure you hold Thessalonians. You got Thessalonians? Okay, great.
1 Thessalonians chapter 3 verse 16.
No, Corinthians 3:16.
Excuse me, 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 16.
Read it.
Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High?
Don't you know that you are the temple of the Most High? And what?
And that the Spirit of the Most High Ahia dwelleth in you.
So you are the temple. That's what it means, sitting in the temple of the Most High. They came over, took us down, destroyed us, put us into captivity, and they started teaching us an Antichrist doctrine. Now they're in our minds. We are the temple. So the Christians twist this and make you believe that you will know the Antichrist is coming when a new temple is built over in Jerusalem, which is total madness. If they're building anything, it's to uphold the lie they established under the Jesuits. It's not because of Bible prophecy. This is prophecy they created to get your eye off of them. Go back to Thessalonians.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 4.
Go ahead.
Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High Ahia, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High Ahia sitteth in the temple of the Most High Ahia.
They sit in the minds of God's people. Read.
Showing himself that he is the Most High.
And you're worshiping Satan, thinking it's Christ, thinking it's the Most High. Now Satan, the pagan god, have been inbred in the mind of slaves, have been branded in the mind of slaves. Now you think Satan is God, or Christ is, that Satan is your God. When the Jesus and the God you're calling on is the Antichrist. You've already been predisposed or preconditioned into accepting the delusion. The delusion, brothers and sisters, is Christianity. That is the psychological weapon that was used on slaves. Now I can easily separate the Bible from the Christian doctrines, because the Bible condemns the doctrines of Christianity. To let you know that when people try to say, well, I'm not going to follow the Bible because of what the Christians did and how evil they were, listen, they didn't use the Bible to destroy the people. When they were destroying us, a lot of us couldn't read. Okay, they used the doctrine of Catholicism, and that's the concepts they taught by pulling out certain precepts out of the Bible. Not to teach you the Bible, but to uphold their doctrine. The Bible is intact, and if you know the Bible, the laws of the Bible tear down all the doctrines of Christianity. That's why they promote in Christian churches not to read the Old Testament, not to read the laws, because they are plain and simple do's and don'ts. Okay, so you must know the Old Testament to get some of these doctrines out of your mind, because you must first know what's right and what's wrong. Okay, you just can't tell someone who don't know anything, just accept Christ and say that Christ is your Lord and go into the water and just come to church every Sunday and everything is fine, and you have no knowledge of the book. Just confess that Christ is Lord and you'll be saved. And then they did another thing. They changed what sin is. Instead of sin being a transgression of God's law, they make you believe that sin is just smoking cigarettes. Or I had a drug addiction and now I'm off of drugs, so I've been saved. Listen, first of all, those things were created by the same people who brought you Christianity. So the psychotropics they've given you now, you think that's the sin. Oh, I've been delivered from drugs. Well, what about being delivered from pork chops? And delivered from all the other sin that's in the Old Testament? What about being delivered from Sunday worship? And delivered from Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter? So they switch the definition of sin to make you think addiction is just sin. That's it. You see how they just switched everything around? They get you on the drugs out there. They target you from yay high to take the drugs. And then once you're strung out, here come the chaplain. Here come oh, you need Jesus. To further your programming into delusion. Now, finish reading.
Verse 5. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. And now ye know it, what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work.
So Paul is telling Christians, if you're listening, that the mystery of iniquity, the mystery of whom you're looking for, was working during Paul's time. So why are you looking for something new or a new Antichrist when the Antichrist was working during Paul's time? It was the Roman Empire and their pagan high priest. You're waiting for something that have already happened. So it was the Christians, the Catholic, the Roman Jesuits' job to string you along, to make up prophecies that they know would never be fulfilled. So that if you're looking at these prophecies, you will not see the truth according to the Bible. So these are the man-made prophecies they created. I'm going to go through a few of them. The rapture, deception, is what they created so that you can receive the mark of the beast and believe it's not. Read.
Verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work.
Go ahead.
Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way.
So the Most High will let them teach this lie until he send Christ to take them out of the way. See that? Read.
Verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed,
And then that wicked shall be revealed.
whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth.
Now we know that Christ is coming back to destroy the 10 horns, which is Rome. Revelation, the 17th chapter. Hold on to Revelation 17 and read the last verse.
Revelations chapter
Before you go to the last verse, start at the 12th verse.
Revelations chapter 17, verse 12.
Read.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
So they'll be operating at the very end. America will not be the superpower at this time. All power will go back to Europe. Will go back to Rome. They set up the monetary system with their inflated debt so that they can destroy every other empire, and they'll be holding the bag of money at the end, so that they can have their rulership 1 hour with the beast. Read.
Verse 13. These have one mind,
These have one mind.
and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
They will give their power and strength to Satan. Read.
These shall make war with the Lamb,
And they will fight against Christ. Read.
and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings.
So Christ at the very end will take down the Roman Empire, who will have power with the beast 1 hour. That's after America is already dealt with. So as you can see in Thessalonians, it's talking about Christ coming to consume the spirit of that Antichrist, which came from Europe. It's not one man. It's the Roman Empire itself. It wasn't one man that destroyed us in Israel, when we were in Israel. It was a whole Roman Empire. It was an agenda that went from one Caesar to the next Caesar to the next Caesar, on and on. They all had a part in our destruction, all the way up until Vespasian and his son Titus. Julius Caesar had a part in it, setting up the Herodian dynasty to rule over us, to begin the watches. Then you had Nero down the line. They had their part against us, doing a false flag in which now they're sending guards amongst us to watch us. And then Vespasian and Titus, they laid the boom. All right, so it wasn't just one man. It was an agenda of the elite powers. And that same thing continued after they took down King James. They started setting up their kings again to continue the agenda they did back during the time that Rome was at its height. And then they switched it all, told us that we were somebody else, and took our identity, another political move that the Khazarians used between the 9th and the 11th century. So that when we wake up, we would not know that these people in Israel are us. They're really in our land. We would wake up and believe that we're African and someone else, so that we couldn't point to them as the culprits behind our destruction. See what happens when you wake up? Everything falls in place. It was a strong delusion, brothers and sisters. And Christianity is the biggest delusion. And if anyone believes that they're going to fight against Christianity and one day you're not going to be able to become a Christian, you don't know the tenth of it. You don't have no idea. They're not fighting against Christianity. They need Christianity. Right now, Christianity has been totally hijacked. You can be anything you want. Christianity is the New Age movement. It's a prosperity movement that leading you. It's in stages that are now leading you to accept the mark of the beast. It's about your wealth, being prosperous, having a nice house, a nice car. You want to keep those things. Get the mark of the beast. So they transitioned Christianity from a spiritual movement, which it was in the 60s. A lot happened from the church, from the pulpit. All right? So they pacified our leaders, transitioned the spiritual movement into what you would call a prosperity movement. And now you have these people who are not even followers of Christ, who would come in and be power speakers. And now they can just be CEOs of a church and control the church. With not biblical scriptures, but through psychological talking, psychology, power speaking. Now, finish reading what you have in Thessalonians.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 5.
Read it.
Excuse me,